Next up, we have a new invite system and role-based access control, enabling users to invite new users to their workspace and permission them for optimal trading or custom setups. Can you share more on the invite and role-based access control?
Yes, this is very much tied to what we just discussed, and I think your Slack analogy is a good reference. In the same way, in Slack, you can easily manage members of your organization and then permission what they can and cannot do within Slack, and then maybe even permission what they can and cannot do within channels. What a role-based access control does is essentially allows you to do that. But in our terms, obviously, the permissions are specific to the custodial platform. And what we wanted to do is to create a model that was as flexible as our users wanted. And so as soon as you get your hands on the platform, you'll see there are some templates in place, such as traders and fund administrators and things of that sort. But ultimately, we want to make this permissioning model way more flexible, so that whatever specific niche sort of permissioning you want to use for your organization, you can implement it that way. And finally, to grow, to scale, you need to also scale the way in which you can bring users in. And so we've been working on a new invite mechanics, a new way of onboarding users in, a new onboarding journey once they're in, and just a way to get them more accustomed of using Credo once you invite them. And workspace and invite system goes end to end. As we imagine users being participants on many workspaces, we want to make sure that we can grow as fast as your workspace needs.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So it's almost within that workspace, you can then assign a role to that person where they have certain constraints on what they are allowed to do and not do. And the question here is, can people set up those role-based access on their own? So if I want to assign you, I can set specific controls within that title?
Yes. So the way it works is it's typically hierarchical. That means there are some administrative roles that you need to be very careful around handing out. But then you can administer the workspace, or you can administer a specific portfolio, or you can administer a specific investment vehicle. And each of those are important roles, but obviously they have a much smaller scale as you go down. And so each of those roles allows you to then assign other roles to other participants. If you're a workspace administrator, you can do pretty much anything. And it's important for any system to be able to bootstrap. Otherwise, if you're the first one that joins the system, how can you set up everything else? But as you move along and as you get more complex, you can really segment and segregate duties among your portfolio.
Very cool. So you can get very nitty and gritty with it then.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Gabe. Thank you so much, Gabe. As always, it was an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to our listeners. Be sure to keep in touch with Credo for all updates and news, as you will always hear it here first. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more on the roadmap to come, so keep your eyes peeled.